Stay away from the people who stress you out because you're going to wind up stress eating. You ever caught yourself doing that? Somebody's stressing you out while you're eating a meal and you're just shoving it and you're not even appreciating the food that goes in your mouth. If you meet one of these people in your holiday dinner, maybe put your plate down, deal with the stress, then go back and eat because you are not going to absorb the nutrients. You're not going to be enjoying that meal if someone's stressing you out. And then you're going to overeat and you won't even appreciate it. You won't even know because it just came in and out without you realizing it. Welcome to another episode of the Hack My Age podcast. Today, we are having a solo episode with just me, just you and me alone. And we're going to talk about some holiday hacks for our mind, body, and soul. And I want to try to keep this short and to the point, and then I'll just go through my tips, the things that I do, the things that I know work for my biohacking besties and the community out there. I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that was a really good event. Who knows? And we still have Hanukkah and Christmas, New Year's, Reyes in Spain, the Orthodox calendar, the Christmas and New Year's that happen in January for the Eastern Europeans. And then we have Chinese New Year coming up at the end of January. It's not just a holiday, it's a holiday months going on. So loads of celebration, loads of getting off track of your routine. Maybe there's some travel plans, got in-laws and outlaws and traditions, conversations, connections, happy times, hopefully. But I would be lying if I didn't mention that the holidays can also be a little romanticized. And sometimes it doesn't always go to plan. And there are conversations about politics, religion, diet, maybe even menopause that can be controversial and trigger even the most composed of us. So let's try to dig deep into some of these tips to avoid the stress on the body, on the mind, on your emotions. And my first step for that event, that big meal, whatever you're going to go to, imagine. And what did we do in the past, or maybe we're still doing today, is we starve all day for that big meal. I can tell you that is just the wrong thing. That sends the wrong signals to your body. So start your day with a nutritious meal and you're going to not overeat later on. So what happens when you fast like that? Well, you wind up gorging and then you feel bad. Like it's a little bit of a shock. Doesn't work for most people. I mean, if it works for you, great, keep doing it. But I would say get your breakfast on. That includes loads of fiber, mostly from plants, get around 30 grams of protein, small portion of healthy fats, and you're going to be satiated for hours. Just go and follow my Instagram story or Facebook story. You see me posting stuff all the time. So don't skip breakfast. Then when you get your plate, imagine this is again, we're in the holiday dinner. Okay. And this could be if you're traveling as well. And it's a tip I use anyways all the time, every meal for me. And I say, eat protein first. Get that in because it's hard enough to get as much as we need to get in. So eat your chicken or your salmon or whatever it is, and then move on to your vegetables. And I always just start with a protein mix between vegetables and protein, and then save your carbs for last, whether it's your potatoes, your rice, your beans, whatever it is. Just, you're going to probably get so full. And I hate it when people get so full with their carbs and their fiber that they just cannot finish the protein. So just get it in, like treat yourself like a 5-year-old. You just have to do that. And you are going to nourish your body and you're going to fill up on what supports your metabolism. Now, if you are traveling, so I want to keep in mind, there are people who are just going for one big event, one big meal. And sometimes if it's just one event, do whatever you want. Like skip all these tips. But if you are having multiple meals and multiple nights and you are traveling, so I want to keep in mind both of you travel. I'm a nomad. Okay. Well, I've been grounded because of my hip, but all right. I'm pretty much a traveler all my life. Ever since I was born, I was traveling. So I'm pretty good at this. And when it comes to hacking your health and trying to get enough protein and nutrients, I'd say pack your snacks and get your protein bars, get your single pack protein shakes, your jerkies, whether it's beef jerky, turkey jerky, sardines. I always have a can of sardines in my bag when I travel. It's kind of weird. But those kinds of things, whatever it is that's satiating you in terms of protein, let's say, we're just going to talk about the protein right now. Get that in your bag, keep it with you. Essential amino acids. This is something I'm so big on these days. Ever since I did the Dr. Stacy Sims Menopause for Athletes course, I've been taking essential amino acids. And then I did this great podcast with Angelo Keeley, and he took a real deep dive into essential amino acids and drew home the point how important it is, especially for you ladies who are struggling to get protein in and who just go, I don't feel like eating breakfast. I'm just going to eat breakfast at noon. Wake up 8, 9, get your essential amino acids. It's just a supplement. It's just either capsules or it's powder. I use Kion, absolutely love it. And it's got really high leucine in it too. So while we're on the topic of food and holidays, let's talk about eating mindfully. Okay. When you have your plate, eat your protein, get your veg, eat a little bit of mindfully. I would say stay away from the people who stress you out because you're going to wind up stress eating, right? You ever caught yourself doing that? Somebody's stressing you out while you're eating a meal and you're just kind of shoving it and you're not even appreciating the food that goes in your mouth. If you meet one of these people in your holiday dinner, maybe put your plate down, deal with the stress, and then go back and eat because you are not going to absorb the nutrients. You're not going to be enjoying that meal if someone's stressing you out. And then you're going to overeat and you won't even appreciate it. You won't even know because it just came in and out without you realizing it. And the other thing while we're talking about the food is just eat a little earlier if you can. If it's actually a lunch, sometimes people do Thanksgiving lunch, Christmas lunch, try to eat earlier. That's great. And then don't go to bed right away after a big heavy meal. If you can avoid that, just go for a little walk after dinner. If you can't, do some yoga, do some movement in your hotel room, if that's where you're at. And let go of the guilt. Okay. If you are going to eat this big meal and you're going to break all of these rules, own it. Just you're conscious. Don't feel guilty. That makes things worse. Just make these conscious decisions. Okay, that was my 8 protein first. That kind of went overboard. Next, we have a pre-meal snack. If you want to go that extra mile, I learned this from, what's his name, Joel Green, but I kind of been doing it actually before I even found out about this program, but he recommends that you take a little small protein shake as a pre-meal snack before the big dinner. Okay. I think he adds like a tablespoon of olive oil. You can do that. I don't necessarily do that, but you will find that if you have this little pre-meal snack, you will find it so much easier to control your intake of food and you just won't overeat because receptors have been satiated, right? You know that it's enough. So that's a little secret that you can try. The next one is to stay active. Okay. Whether you are just spending the whole day with the family or you are traveling, I'm going to cover you both. I'd say go outside is the best thing you can do because usually these events happen all indoors, hours and hours on end, and you just need some fresh air. I know it may be cold. I know it may be snowing. I know maybe you live by a beach like me. You can go out and play frisbee or go play badminton or get some cross-country skiing in or sledding. Just get outdoors. You're gonna be active in some way. If you are in a room, in a hotel room, you can squeeze in a morning workout, even if it's just 15 minutes before the festivities begin, or hit the gym the next day if you have one in your hotel room. You're going to feel really good. And don't focus on, oh, I got to burn these calories or I got to build muscle. Like, let that go. Just know that you're going to feel good. And anything is better than nothing. So all you can do is 10 minutes. Just do the 10 minutes of some whatever YouTube or app that you have. There's so many apps. And I basically used YouTube. I just plug in. I love Caroline Gervais. I kind of plug in her name and go, all right, upper body, or I'll do yoga for back pain or yoga for morning, whatever it is, just YouTube it, Google it. It's going to pop up. And I used to, when I get back into running, because I can't run with my hips now, but I used to always bring running shoes with me. Whenever, I mean, I was a nomad, I always had running shoes, but that is the best way to get outdoors, just explore a city if you're traveling. But you don't need a gym, you don't need anything. Just go for a little run, little jog. And I'm someone who likes to get the workouts done in the morning. If I don't do it in the morning, it's not happening. But that's just me. Some people prefer after work. Some people prefer it after a meal, whatever it is. Don't do probably too intensive exercise before you go to bed because that just stimulates you. But just get anything done any time of the day, and that's fine. Movement snacks are also great. Doing some squats for 30 squats before the meal, like it has an effect. And you do feel good. Even if you have to go to the bathroom, say, excuse me, and then you do your squats in the bathroom. You can do that. The next one is stay hydrated. All right. There's probably alcohol on the menu at some point. I don't know if you're a drinker or not a drinker, but try to start your evening with a glass of sparkling water if, say, plain water is just too mundane for you and not celebratory enough. And try to drink water in between your glasses of wine or whatever alcohol you're drinking. It's going to help you feel full. It's going to stop you from overeating and over drinking. It just offsets drinking too much of the alcohol. And try to eat before you drink as well. The alcohol, I mean. So you can try to blunt the alcohol going directly to your brain. But I have some alcohol damage control hacks. If you are a drinker, these are pretty cool tips. And so grab your paper and pen because there are a lot of them here. If you are drinking a lot of alcohol and you know you are, after the day after, well, of course, try to keep drinking water in between, but try to hydrate with an extra 1 or 2 glasses of water plus electrolytes the next day. And then that's an easy thing. We all have water. Electrolytes, maybe not everyone has that. Just take a little bit of salt, put a tiny bit of salt into your water, and then like a pinch, and then you drink that. Then you can try to take 1 to 2 servings of a B complex. So you may have a B complex, you probably do at home. We all tend to have these. It's so easy to take. Try taking some of that, see how that works. The next thing is a really interesting hack. It's called Z-Biotic Probiotic. And you take this before you go out. And it's a probiotic drink. And what it does, it breaks down the byproduct of alcohol that's responsible for those hangovers after you drink. And this was recommended by my biohacking besties. And because I don't drink, so I'm not able to test this out. But if you read up on the website, it's pretty interesting. And it's something you may want to consider. And then after, you may want to be detoxing. So I would say get some liposomal glutathione. You can take this before and after you have your drinks. Activated charcoal. We have the Quicksilver Detox. Anything from Quicksilver Detox Kit is good. Zeolites is another thing you can try to take. I've been recommended to take the Natural Cellular Defense by Dr. Elizabeth Eworth, who I trust very much. And I have that. And I would say also consider chlorella in your diet as well after, because that just soaks up any of the toxins and gets rid of it. So I love the energy bits because they're just these teeny tiny, they're like baby aspirin sized bits, and I just pop them in because chlorella doesn't taste really great, and I can't take a whole lot in my smoothie, otherwise it changes the taste. The next, what they call like a damage control for alcohol, is something new, again, recommended by my biohacking besties. It's called Dihydromyricetin, or DHM. And what this is, it's an extract from the Japanese raisin tree. And what it's supposed to do is accelerate the breakdown of alcohol in your liver. And then that reduces that impact that alcohol has on those brain GABA receptors. So what you're going to do is feel less intoxicated if you're drinking. You'll be a bit more clear-headed, less severe hangovers, and you'll have a quicker recovery after drinking. It's supposed to reduce inflammation, protect the liver from damage, reduces the reactive oxygen species damage to your cells, and it's supposed to also lessen your cravings for alcohol. So you take about 1,200 to 2,000 milligrams with your drinks or right after drinking. If you combine it with water, you'll get a bigger impact. Before you do this, please ask your doctor, because anything with any supplements that I'm recommending here, of course, if you have a condition, you got to talk to your doctor and try to eat to soak up the alcohol. Eat a little bit even before you go to bed. I know you've already done the damage with the alcohol that ruins the sleep. So eating a little bit, I mean, talking about less than 100 calories, just tiny bit, may also help you with that impact of the alcohol. So try that. Damage is done. So the next hack that we have is let's try to improve our immune system. Okay, this goes across the board. Like if it's one night, whatever. But if you are traveling, and some of you are traveling for a weekend, some of you are for the week, some of you for 2, we want to keep your immune system strong. And that means a good, healthy gut. So we want to work on the gut. We want to make sure you get that exercise in. I know it's an immune booster. Again, not killing yourself and depriving yourself of sleep and all that. We want to exercise appropriately. Getting some meditation and breath work will help the gut. I know it sounds weird, but it does. I'm a big fan of NewCalm. This is neuroacoustic software. Actually, a really good thing to do is meditate or do breath work or NewCalm right before the dinner, especially there's going to be a lot of stress there. It's going to calm your mind. It helps you get through, I promise you. And make sure you get good sleep, right? Your sleep and your immune system are super connected. And I'm just testing out this device called the Soltec, and it's actually supposed to rewire the brain. It's great for the stress and it's great for sleep. And it uses magnetic technology. The podcast is dropping on Monday, so look out for that. It's pretty amazing. And let's talk about some of the supplements for our immune system. I know it's such an easy thing to do. We always go to the supplements, but don't forget about the other things as well. Vitamin C and E are the typical ones. You can get that, but I kind of cut to the chase and just go to astaxanthin because this is an antioxidant and it's more powerful than the C and the E together. I don't know why people aren't talking more about this. I don't understand. Maybe there's not enough research, but from what there is, it's pretty impressive. Selenium, kind of a no-brainer as well. Reishi mushroom, a lot of mushrooms there are good for your immune system. I take reishi as a powder. Sometimes I get a spore-based one. Pretty cool stuff. I'm using it's got lion's mane in it, the Mushroom Breakthrough by Optimizers. Absolutely addicted to that right now because it's just tastes like chocolate milk, like a hot cocoa powder. It's wonderful. And I would definitely add urolithin A for your immune system. I take the one by Mitapure. You can get zinc, echinacea, vitamin D3 and K2 are on some really popular go-tos. NAC is something I take every single day without fail. That's N-acetylcysteine. Probiotics. Great gut and immune, right? Most of your immune system is in your gut. So make sure the gut is good with probiotics. I take the Megaspore. I can't remember the brand, but if you Google that Megaspore, you'll find it. I'm sure I can get a discount code from one of my besties if you want one of those. And then going back to the Z-Biotics, the one that was for the alcohol control, that they have one called Sugar to Fiber. And again, I haven't tested this one out, but it looks really amazing. And it converts the sugars that you take into fiber. Not everything. Okay. It's not like you can eat all the sugar that you want, and then you're going to be doing some offsetting with this Z-Biotics, but you will certainly minimize at least some of the damage. And then get your minerals in. I'm a big fan of Beam minerals because I don't need to take any of the 15 bottles or 20 bottles that I have. I just take this little shot of a Beam and I'm covered all the way. It's kind of like a multivitamin, but it's multi-mineral. And astragalus and andrographis. These are 2 other popular supplements that you can take for the immune system. And a lot of these things I do before I travel, I take these things about 3 to 4 days before I travel. take them all throughout the 1 week or 2 weeks that I'm away. And then I would take them again for another 3-4 days when you return home, just to support the system, because there's all kinds of viruses and bugs and bacteria that we pick up as we're traveling as well. And then, of course, if you want to save your gut and your immune system, just try to stay away from those foods that irritate the gut and the immune system. And those would be typically the grains, the dairy, the eggs, the alcohol. And take a digestive enzyme as well if you are sensitive. If you just like, I'm going to eat the mince pie, I'm going to eat the eggnog, then you take some digestive enzymes if you feel like you're having trouble with that. I love the Masszymes Bioptimizers, fabulous product, and it's easy just to pop those in right before you eat those foods, and they just do wonders. So the next one, number 8, because I think I've got 10 of them here. Number 8 is sleep. Just don't compromise on it. I'm so sorry. Again, if it's just one night, not a big deal. But if you are traveling and you are having multiple sleepless nights, your immune system is compromised. Your gut, your brain, your muscle, your bone, your tissue repair, skin, digestion, all of these things are affected while you are sleeping. And when you get good sleep, well, we have good results. And when you're deprived, well, they all suffer. The body just tries to scramble and make up for the loss of sleep. So you will make better food choices when you are sleeping well. You're more likely to go for a walk. You are more likely to do exercise if you have good sleep because you have more energy. So try to get those hours in, and that would be about, I would say shoot for 8 to 9. Okay, you're going to probably get 7, 6, 7, 8. I guess if you shoot for 8, you probably get 7. If you shoot for 9, you probably get 8. That's why I always say shoot for 9, because I like having good sleep. And let's be realistic as well. So if you are having one night or a couple nights with some very special people that bring you absolute joy and happiness and oxytocin and lots of good, healthy, happy hormones, then maybe you need to deprive yourself of some sleep, because you just can't get that time back as well with those lovely people. But if they're toxic people around you, then stay away from them. You say, I'm going to go to bed. Done. So easy. And you can always catch up a little bit with naps or meditation. When I am sleep deprived, I always go to Newcom. And I know I talked about this already. It's just saved me all throughout my surgery when you cannot sleep because of pain. And what I do is when I wake up from a poor night's sleep, I put on 30 minutes or an hour or 2 of Newcom, because 30 minutes is like catching up with 3 hours of deep sleep. And I feel it. I know I never was lacking energy ever all throughout my surgery and recovery. For many reasons, many things I do. Newcom is just part of them. And then I'm really excited to see how the Soul Tech works for me as well. Another way to get good sleep is just try to avoid those heavy meals before bed. Go for a 15-minute walk if you can. And if you just can't get outside, put on a YouTube video, do whatever little exercises you like to do, or yoga. Yoga's great right before bed too. You get a little bit of movement, digestion is going, and you'll have better sleep. And try to avoid the alcohol if you can. And if you do have to accept it, then you take that Z-biotic or any of those other alcohol hacks. And I'd say also, before you go to bed, it's always a good thing to journal. Journaling is fabulous. And especially if you're around toxic people around the holidays and family and the triggers and all this, barf this all out into a diary and you'll feel better. It's like, vomiting all your thoughts onto a piece of paper, and you're going to sleep better at night. But I do like to have in my journal, when I journal, I always start with gratitude, even if it's just one thing that I'm grateful for. And then I end with a gratitude. And that just sets me up for fabulous sleep, a fabulous day. Number 9, let's move on. 2 more. Let's adjust the next day if we just tanked it and did everything wrong, quote unquote wrong. I hate that word. It's just wrong. It's wrong to say wrong, because I always say, if you're, just take this all as an experiment and realize how whatever things affect your body or don't, you may be surprised. You're like, you know what? I ate a heavy meal. I slept fabulous. Well, then that hack does not apply to you. But if you do feel bad because you drank too much or you ate too much, and again, hopefully this is physical, like you're feeling bad physically, but not mentally. Let go of that guilt. If you are going to say, if this was me and just like my one holiday meal, and I don't know, you had all the great foods and the great things and the great people, and I don't even think about it. I just own it. You just say, this is worth it. I'm just going to own it. So please let go of any guilt. That guilt does more damage than anything. So if you really feel bad physically the next day, just adjust, just eat a little less the next day. You can go train in a fasted state on that day. And any day, particularly, I hate training in fasted states, but I would say if you had a really big meal and you're trying to shove something in the next day, you're probably going to have a hard time. So not that we should be doing fasted state training all the time, but in those days, it's okay. You'll probably feel good. And it's just an experiment. I would also get to a spa to feel better. You always feel good if you go to a spa and do a little sauna, you get a little detox, you do a little cold plunge, or you get a facial, or you get a massage, whatever. Treat yourself with love. You're going to feel really good. And you just go back to your routine. Just don't throw everything out the window just because you had one day or 1 week of, getting off your routine. So the last hack that I have is don't wait until the last minute with anything. Get your holiday gifts now. Hopefully your Black Friday is today. Get all your shopping, your Christmas shopping, holiday shopping with your Black Fridays. You would be so happy if you get it all done. Like you don't have to think about it. Done. And we have a Black Friday blog article, which I'll include in the show notes as well. Or if you can remember to go to hackmyage.com/Black Friday 2024. You're going to find all my favorites, all my biohacking favorites with really great offers. The other part of not waiting to the last minute is get your travel plans done, right? Because we still have another month or two of holidays. Get your tickets now if you haven't already, right? Prices go up. Get direct flights if you can. I know they're more expensive. I know it's cheaper to go bounce in different planes, but that can be exhausting. I am a good traveler, and I think it's worth every single penny to invest in a direct flight. Avoid the peak dates if you can. Try to travel on days that not every single person is traveling on that day. And if you're traveling on your holidays, and this goes for whether it's Christmas or New Year's or summer holidays, please don't try to do 10 cities in 1 week. Don't try to see it all. It's the last time I'm going to go to Italy. It's the last time, maybe not. I don't know. But even so, every time I speak to somebody who tries to do it all, they're exhausted after their holiday. They need another holiday after their holiday. So less is more. Choose, if you're going to have 1 week, 1 or 2 cities is fine. Pack your suitcase now, another time saver. Don't wait to the last minute. Put your passport in there now. Put all your special documents in there now, because if you're going to be one of these people who are frantically packing at 2 a.m. the day before you leave, you're going to be compromising your immune system and your gut, and you're going to just be exhausted. Please plan ahead. And when you are packing, I promise you, you need less than you think you do. You do not need those 3 pairs of jeans, right? You need 1, and that's it. So you will probably thank me if you do this. And you can always buy something, right? If you are missing something. And if you have holiday gifts to bring to family and friends, wrap them before you pack. Because if you go, I'm going to go and buy whatever, I don't want to crush it, just crush it. I'm sorry. You're going to be so happy that those gifts are wrapped and you don't have to scramble around trying to find wrapping paper. And I would say when you're traveling, get an Apple AirTags. Those AirTags are so great. You don't have to worry about your luggage. You know where it is. If it gets left behind, at least you know in advance, but at least you know where it is. And then book your Uber or your ride a day or two to the airport or train station wherever you're going, or know the route or before you go, because you're going to try to get an Uber probably the same time and day that everybody else wants one. And then you're going to wind up waiting longer and maybe even miss your flight. So do that. And if you are driving, know the routes, avoid the traffic times. And then whether you're in your own car driving or you're traveling in an airplane, bus, train, take your snacks. You're going to avoid eating the garbage because you have your own happy, healthy protein bar or your apple or banana. Mandarins are another great one. Dried fruit they don't make a mess. I know this is all adult candy, but it's adult candy. It's good. It's all good. It's much better than what you find in a piece of package. Nuts and seeds are great. Homemade crackers, whatever snacks, jerky, chocolate. I like to take 85% or more. Those are great snacks to have. And you're going to not feel deprived. And then prioritize the most important plans. All right. These are all hacks to just not wait the last minute and de-stress yourself. You don't have to do it all. You're going to get overwhelmed if you're going to try to see everybody and do everything. Just embrace your I don't give an F anymore menopausal self and people pleaser in you. Let it go, and you're going to find yourself so much happier and less stressed. So I hope these hacks helped you. I'm going to run by them quickly, right? Don't skip breakfast. Eat your protein first. Have a pre-meal snack. Stay active. Stay hydrated. Try some of these alcohol damage controls. I'm really curious about the Z-Biotic if anybody tries that. Improve your immune system, get your supplements in there, and sleep, exercise, meditate. And then adjust the next day if you have to. Just use your damage control, and then don't wait for things at the last minute. So I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a review, send a message if you do like these solo episodes and these little hacks. I wish you all a very happy holiday, no matter which holiday that is. And good luck with your Black Friday holiday shopping and other holiday shopping. So have a wonderful, wonderful day.